Alright, so here's basically like here's basically what Cop Gang around here does. So first they usually have one little pig who like shows me and my ex-wife having sex, and then since she doesn't have any boobies, then they always call me a pedophile all the time, even after being told, even after being reprimanded. Every one of them do. It's their go-to harassment reason. So then, when that doesn't work, then essentially they start showing people probably like a voyeur video of which pissing me off, and then us having angry sex. Okay? And then they call it rape. And then, yeah, witch. In a marriage, sometimes a witch will piss off man. And then witch will get skewered by man. And then witch will stop being a witch. And that the dynamics of feminism still have that dynamic. Because one of the things about sinister little witches is sometimes they just like to be fucked by a man that's pissed off at them. And that if you people knew anything about feminist sexuality, you'll know that there's some women that aren't necessarily lesbians and don't necessarily like effeminate like dudes. And that then, since most of those women are usually with dudes that won't ever like have angry sex, then sometimes they like to piss off man so that he has angry sex and skewers the witch. And so that's where they don't seem to understand. They attempted to like make feminist chicks like not like me based on a couple that has angry sex. And it's like then it was like there's these lesbians that are kind of more butchish kind of chicks, and then sometimes they have like a lipsticky kind of lesbian, and then those witches do the same shit. And then that butch holds down those legs and just gets at it. Alright? In a pissed off way. Okay, so pissed off sex. This is where they have literally built whole harassment structures of me around the size of my ex-wife's boobs and angry sex. So that was Cop Gang in this town who did that at me. And that they still, pretty much they sell a service of harassing me based on people justifying a rapist and a pedophile about me. And then that meaning that everybody should look the other way at doing forms of fucking tortures and fucking with me and shit like that. That then, since I do like a text speaker project, then they start accessing my speakers and torturing me in them as if it's some sort of fucking acceptable idea to torture people into suicide. Right? Then they sit around as groups acting like Me Too helpers and shit. Then they sit around as psychology groups expecting me to go into some sort of psych unit or counselor over it. And it's like, why? That then they don't want to believe somebody until they get psychologically checked out. Huh, Lena? So, this is what I'm saying, is that I do high probability stuff too. Since everybody's visual imagery, you know what I do? I break down everybody's psychology, and then I build data mines around people's psychology. And then, judging a book by its cover. So one of the things about continual expectations of mental health evaluations is the types of things that make me, that place certain people in high probability data mines. So people that are like part of the internal structure that are being forced sex slaves tend to have to adhere to what everybody's like ideas are. And so the reality is that I don't need to continually be going in and getting checked out for mental health. I'm more than logical and rational. Nothing those fucking people could ever do would ever make those people not be doing that shit at me. Okay? There's not one thing a counselor could ever fix. There's not one thing that they could ever do. In that sense, all these people sit around with this old idea about technology, and most of them are outdated and stupid. And so, to continually expect updated versions of stuff, even though somebody I've already gone through and done. See, the whole idea is that when I got tasered by a bunch of fucking pigs that are in a cop gang, I went to an adult trauma center for that. And so that's what sound mental health is. And see, in here, they don't believe people if they go and get sound mental health evaluations. The reason that they want an evaluation is because they disregard people who get mental health evaluations. For some reason. It's like I informed the jail here when I got a DUI and I had to spend time in jail. I informed the jail here of my investigation of the people in the jail. Then they decided not to investigate when I put tips in there, my last day in there. They decided not to investigate it based on forcing me to get a mental health evaluation before I could leave the jail. And then they justified not doing an investigation based on the forced mental health evaluation. You see, that basically these people don't want to believe me because I'm telling the truth and it doesn't fit into their little stupid cover-ups and shit. Okay? And then like pretty much like I know exactly the kind of shit that they're all involved with. And I know exactly how to talk about this stuff, and I know exactly how to logically lay out what they're doing, and I know the exact structures of what they do and what their little methodologies are. And then they all sit around as one big group going, "He's a crazy," based on getting mental health evaluations after an adult trauma. See, they have a mental health evaluation equals crazy. That is their grand theory of the word crazy. And see, the whole idea is that a mental health evaluation determines whether somebody's crazy or not. And I think they're all crazy, and that they don't have any proof of the contrary, because they won't get a mental health evaluation because in their stupid little cover-up shit, mental health evaluation equals crazy. And yeah, the family court structure and the CPS is involved with cop gang also. And so since I've basically laid out logically like what they did, they don't like me, and that they want me to get a mental health evaluation to justify not believing what I say. Okay? That's how dumb they get. Just like these cops with these reasons to hack people and shit. They are doing similar theoretics as what these cop gangs do. They're all part of an internal cover-up group. See, don't fucking voyeur me.